So to begin with the panel discussion, we will be discussing about evolving landscape of immigration opportunities for international students here. So we've got, as Tanu have already introduced, we've got our director, Tejas Patel, registered migration agent, and registered migration agent, Rima Awasthi. So just to begin with, Tejas, this question will be for you. Can you please provide us some insight into recent immigration policy changes in Australia and how they impact international student pathway for future visa pathways?
So hi everyone, my name is Tejas. As Prasan's already mentioned, I'm a registered migration agent as well. So if you talk about the recent changes, I'm sure a lot of you might be aware there has been a lot of changes, especially the state nomination programs. And unfortunately, it's going to be more tougher for next couple of years because I think we have seen those easy days last 2 years, but now it's going to be change policies in regards to the permanent visas. So what department have announced is to reduce allocation for the state levels. So the visa 190 or the 491 will be more tougher, and there is no clarification about the 189 visas, which is the skill independent visas as well. I'm not trying to scare you, but what I'm trying to prepare you is basically what's going to be the future for you. So next couple of years, it might be a bit difficult compared to last couple of years, what we have seen very easy migration programs. To make it more effective for you guys is obviously what Ben and other panelists have mentioned, it's all about jobs. So skill migration is all about the skills. So if you have a job in your hand, then your chances of getting a permanent visa is much higher. What we have seen in last 2 years, a lot of states have invited a lot of applicants without any kind of jobs. On those days, you won't see that again in next couple of years at least. What's going to be important is how long you've been working, what kind of job you're doing, is it related to your nominated occupation. So what first thing you need to make sure is, before you graduate, you know what kind of jobs you should be aiming for, and start looking for those jobs before you graduate. Start networking, start connecting with the people who are already in the industry for a longer time, who can help you, having brushed up your skills, or at least getting you the entry in that door. So getting a job and having a full-time employment is the key for your migration future, whether it be a skill migration, employer sponsored, or any kind of visas. So be ready and just make sure you work your way through.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sorry, thank you so much, Tejas, for the insightful answer. So to add on to this, me being as an international student, of course, I took the same step. Like while studying, like I did masters in business administration. So while studying, I got some experience from back in my home country, but then it's pretty difficult to get a job here. So to explore yourself while studying, you can intend to get some internship experience, which will add on to value to create your profile in the relevant field. Plus, it's a better opportunity for you to, provide them your competency and then, show them your skill so that you'll have a better option, opportunities in future. So do you have any additional points that you want to add into this same question?
Like everybody else is saying, networking is the key out here. So as long as you're networking with the right kind of people, building your LinkedIn profile is also another thing. We've seen a lot of people students who come to us saying that they've completed their course and they're not able to find jobs in their field. That is something that is true in South Australia. Like everyone else has said, that SA is a very small industry. Everybody knows everyone in South Australia. So you would definitely meet somebody at some other networking event, and the right thing to do is network with the right people, build your LinkedIn profile, connect with people on that platform. Study well, do good in your studies, get a high GPA. Earlier there used to be this high GPA stream as well, but it's not there now. And like even Tejas said, that migration changes constantly. Australian migration system is ever changing, so be aware of what's going on in the state government's list, which occupations are there, what's happening, what's the state government's level, because if you just started studying, you will finish your studies 2 years later. The state government's requirements will change at the end of every financial year. So we tell people to be updated on what's going on. When I say be updated, it does not mean go to a Facebook forum. You'll find a lot of forums on Facebook, a lot of people who've had successful visa grants giving each other advice. That's certainly not the place to go and get advice. Get advice from experts in the industry, so you're guided in the right way and you've been given the correct advice for your future, and don't just go and do it yourself. It's very easy to do the visas yourself. You're more than happy, you can go and do the visas yourself, but get the right advice from the right people and not from DIY platforms on Facebook and stuff like that. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, that's very correct. So while you're studying, it's better to get a guidelines from the authorized person so that you can create a pathway correctly and you can apply for your future visa on time without wasting any further extra visas time and stuff. So in addition to that, we are getting lots of international students coming from abroad, coming from different state to South Australia. So are there any specific regional or state-based initiative in South Australia or any benefits for the international student that they should be aware of in terms of migration or residential opportunity in future?
What you see this financial year's announcement for the migration to South Australia it's all about jobs. Even for South Australian graduates, let's say if you have studied here for 1 year or 2 years, the only benefit is you will be given a first preference, but without job you're not going to get any state nomination. So as simple as that. No matter where you come from, no matter what you studied, no matter where have you moved from interstate as well. So it's all about employment. So if you don't have a job, you don't have any stand in terms of getting a state nomination. So in regards to the initiatives from the state, this financial year, the message is very clear. Get a job, get a full-time job, then you will be preferred as a preferred candidate for your state nomination programs. If we talk about, say, essay graduates, obviously you'll be given a first preference compared to a lot of other people, but that does not just give you a preference, you still need a job. So getting a full-time job is the key for your migration prospects.
Yes, thank you, Tejas, for that answer. So of course, whatever you're studying, you need to focus on getting a job in the relevant field so that it will help you to get, better and easier and quicker permanent residency pathway in the future. So yes, of course, there are lots of changes coming on regarding the immigration policy and all for the international student and the immigrant. So what are the key trends or predictions regarding the immigration changes that may affect international student in upcoming future, and how can they stay informed and prepared?
In terms of the changes, as I just mentioned, the primary changes will be all about employment outcomes. So skill migration or any employer-sponsored visa is all about getting the right job in the right place. Department designed these programs primarily to focus to fill those skill shortages in certain areas, certain industries, just to make sure that employers do not left out and they do have enough talent to choose from, and that is the whole purpose of skill migration, to bringing overseas people in to fill those jobs which cannot be filled with the local talent. So if you don't have a job, then it's not going to be useful, or it's not going to be easy for you to get a permanent visa. In terms of the trend which is going to be changing in the next couple of years, what we have seen is a lot of temporary migrants arriving in last 1.5 years. So because of multiple reasons, obviously the department is concerned and they keep changing their policies internally. What I see personally is next couple of years going to be a bit tight for the migration. So you will see a lot of competition, but then it's not about matter of fear. It's all about just making sure that you do the right step at the right time. So as long as you know your pathways during your studies, what occupations you want to target on, because a lot of students study certain courses and they don't even know which occupation they are eligible for. So first of all, what you need to understand is your qualification, what occupation that qualification leads you to, and what is the requirements of those occupations to get a skill assessed. So skill assessment is another mandatory requirement for your skill migration program. So if you don't know the requirements of your skill assessment, get that information now, because during the studies it's very important for you to understand Because what I see also is because of long graduate visa options, a lot of students just gets relaxed and they say, okay, we'll think about it after we graduate. But that's not the right attitude. Because if you left out on the graduate visa, then your chances of getting a skill migration after that is not much. So make sure you keep up with all the trends during the studies. Understand what occupation your study leads to, what is the requirement of the skill assessment for that occupation, and then understand the state nomination or the visa options. In terms of keeping yourself updated with all the information, the primary source of information would be obviously department website, but again, that's not the complete information. You should get a professional advice. Have a multiple opinion actually. It's migration advice is as similar as the doctor advice. You should have at least 2 to 3 multiple advice to make sure all are connecting to each other. If all 3 are giving you different advice, then something wrong, you know. So you need to understand what is your profile all about. Make sure you do know yourself about what your visa options are.
And I'd like to add to that if you're on student visas, then what Tejas has said is the right thing. The key is to find a job in your field. But what the federal government also gives you is 5 years to find a job, to make yourself skilled. I'm not saying that it's going to take everyone 5 years, but you cannot jump from a student visa to PR directly because the federal government gives you that 485 visa to become skilled. Some of you may get it for 2 years if you've done a bachelor's. Then you may get it for 3 years if you've done a master's. Some certain studies are eligible for even 5 years. 5 years for the master's and 4 years for the bachelor's. So you definitely need to find, we can even find out your PR pathways based on the bachelor's if you've done from your home country and you've got some work experience. But you need to find a job in your field in South Australia. Your overseas work experience can count towards your career in South Australia, building up those connections in South Australia and finding that job. If you've not had that, if you've gone from bachelor's directly into the master's, you cannot directly go into PR pathways. Things have changed recently. They just want you to be getting a job in your field. So that's also really important. Use the 485 duration that the federal government gives you, either for 3 years or 5 years. Become skilled, and then you'll find that it's easier for you to get onto the PR visas. And then there are different PR visas, 190 and 491. Some people, they say that they've spent 5 years already in Australia and they don't want to go in for the 491, which may make you another 5 years before you go on to the PR. But that's not a bad option as well. So you can actually go in for the 491, which is a regional sponsored, regional visa 491. Even though it will take you a bit longer, but it still is a PR pathway. It's still a PR for a pathway to your PR in the future. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, so adding to that point, so of course, like whatever you're studying, even if it's bachelor's, master's, or any diploma course, you need to make sure that if it meets the requirement to apply for your postgraduate visas, you need to know the requirement, like the eligibility criteria, so it's always better. While you're studying anything, you just need to make sure that you're on the right track, you're meeting all the requirements to apply for your future visa process. So coming to the last question, are there any tips and strategy that you can share with the international student to enhance their prospect of obtaining better career and future visa in Australia?
I think we already covered up most of them through previous sessions. It's all about connection, it's all about getting a job. As someone just mentioned about the online job portals are not really effective, which is very true. What I've seen in my career in the last 15 years is most of the recruitment, the senior recruitment as well, happens through the mutual connections or through LinkedIn, because people just headhunt you. Basically, if you have that skill, what Ben mentioned about is your own profile. So you need to be, showing yourself. You need to market yourself. So as long as you do that during your studies, have your own profile, as long as get maximum skills possible around your qualification, around the area of focus you have, that will help you connect with the industry people, even if it's not about getting a job. It's just about say hello, during the studies, because you never know, that person might come across in the future at the right time, right place. So you might get a job through that person. So I think the world is becoming more and more competitive because we have more people being born every day, and we don't have that many jobs being created in a lot of ways. So people are competing with the same place, same jobs. there are more people competing with the same role, same skills. We have more university graduates competing with the same kind of jobs as well within the consulting businesses. So you need to be stand out, and the only way you can stand out is through your own profile, through your own skills. And it can be soft skills, it can be how you present yourself, how you dress yourself. There are a lot of ways. So you just need to work on yourself. That's the primary key tip I would give it to any international student.
Thank you. Do you still have anything to say? Thank you. So just focusing on future visa, don't forget to maintain the current visa conditions. You're currently on student visa, so there are lots of conditions that you need to maintain, such as maintaining the working hours. You're only allowed to work 24 hours. Need to maintain your study levels, and lots of other visa conditions. So don't forget to maintain the current visa conditions, focusing on future visas. So anyway, do you have any questions at the moment to ask? Yes, so all good, yeah. Of course, you can keep in touch with us if you've got any inquiry related to your study plan, your student visa, temporary resident visa, permanent visa, any migration visa in future. So of course, you can be in touch with us. In our office, we've got office in the city and Moss Lake branch. So thank you for being a part of this event.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks everyone. So you can reach out to our migration team. We have a team of 7 migration agents, including myself. So if you have any questions, even if you're studying, just want to have basic opinion about what you're doing, what you should be doing in the future and stuff, just reach out to us and we'll be happy to have one-on-one consultation, because sometimes you don't even know there could be a pathway through your overseas studies or even a pathway through your current job. So explore all the visa options, because it's going to be competitive. You should be making yourself more competitive than the other people in the room as well. So feel free to reach out to us. We'll be happy to have one-on-one consultation with the migration team. And thank you very much for coming in today. Thank you.
Thank you.